Hello friends, welcome back and thanks for watching, and thank you for watching the Lifetime movie I was in, for all your support and all your kind words. It really meant the world to me. It was such a cool experience to watch it on TV and have all of you like live tweeting with me and watching it along with me, and it was my first lead role in a feature film, so it was awesome. So thank you. If you haven't seen it yet, it's called Deadly In. It first aired on Lifetime Movie Network, but the trend is kind of they end up airing it on Lifetime again at some point later, so check your TV guide for it and set your DVRs. So today I'm going to be telling you how to set up your resume to make it look really good and really professional even if you're just starting out. I'm going to be talking about a theatrical resume, which is for film and TV and theater, versus a commercial resume, which I'll talk about in a different video. It's kind of a boring topic, but this is stuff that you really do need to know, because if you submit your resume or you bring it in with you to an audition and it looks super green, which means super amateur, it's really going to give you away. And there are ways to make it look really good and professional even if you don't have a ton of credits yet. So let's just jump right in. Alright, so when you are first starting out as an actor, whether it be just coming out of high school or, you know, if you've decided to choose this career like later in your life, your resume is gonna look pretty light. And that's okay, we all start somewhere. In fact, I found something for you guys. So I know this is like, looks like it's really filled out and impressive, but if you look closely, like it's just a lot of high school plays. And this is the resume that my mom made for me when I, first moved to LA and started going to acting school and was gonna start going to meet agents and managers and stuff. I mean, it says like my height, my weight, my hair color, my eye color, my ethnicity, and my date of birth. And at the bottom it has like my home phone and address. Not a good idea, Mom. And the font? Can you see that font? I mean, it's a very fun font. I mean, we'll talk about all this later, but I just want you to see, like, you do your best to fill it out, and it's okay to have, like, high school play credits and stuff on there until you get more credits to let those fall off and let new ones come on. So once I was out here for a tiny bit and I had done, like, a couple, like, student projects and stuff like that, and I got my first manager, they redid my resume for me, and, this is what it is supposed to look like. And again, I will explain all of this in detail later, but as you can see, it is super light. I mean, each category has like 4 things in it, and that's okay. That's just how it is. It's impossible to have like a full resume when you're just beginning. Can we just take a time out for a second? Because while I was digging through my old resumes, look what else I found. Oh my gosh, you guys. In 8th grade, they voted me actress most likely to continue in drama. Thanks, guys. So I really want to go over how the layout of your resume is supposed to look. This is how it's expected to be across the board in the industry, film and TV and theater. So I will use mine as an example. So at the top you have your name, of course, and then you have your union affiliations if you are in any unions, and your representation information. So the bulk of your resume is obviously where you list your credits, and it's divided up into 3 columns. So first you have the project, your role, and then the 3rd column is like the director or the distributor, what channel it was on, or if it's theater, where the theater was and all that good stuff. The very first category you list is going to be your target market. So basically whichever thing you have the most credits in or want to do the most. So it can go like TV, film, theater, or theater, film, TV. But like I said, the one that is the most you and the thing that you're doing in your career is the one that's going to go on the top. So up here for mine, I have television. I have the names of the shows. For your role, you don't put the name of your role. Nobody knows, nobody cares how big or small the name of that role is. They need to know what kind of, basically if it's a guest star, it's a co-star, or it's a starring role, or if it's a recurring role, or whatever it may be. Don't put background work on your resume. Don't. And then on the 3rd column, I have the network that it was on. So Fox, NBC, if it was a pilot that didn't go anywhere, you just put pilot, and then you put a / and then you put the director's name. So then if you're doing film, you put the name of the project, again, lead, supporting, and then you can put like the studio that made the movie and the director's name. For mine, I just have the director's names. For commercials, you do put commercials on your theatrical resume, but you always write list upon request. You never really want to have all the names of the commercials that you've done. And then for theater, you put the name of the project, again, what kind of role it was, whether it was lead or supporting, and then you put the name of the theater company or the location. Never put years on your stuff, because if things are really spread out, or if it was from a long time ago, people are like, what's she been doing this whole time? Like, why is that so long ago? And there's nothing new on there. So just leave the years off. Close to the bottom, you have training. So if you have training in improv, that is really important to put on your resume. If you have training in, combat or stage fighting, you really want to put that. I basically just listed all the places that I've studied acting. Not all of them, because you don't want like a training section this long and a credit section this long. You just want to put the most prominent teachers that you studied with. And then at the very bottom is the special skills section. The special skills section, only put down stuff that is like really important for them to know. Some people like to put on there where they can be a local hire, like if they can be a local hire in Atlanta or New York. Sometimes if they're trained really well in a specific dialect, like British or Southern, put that on there. And then other special skills like horseback riding, stunt jumping, precision driving, stuff like that, that you do want to put on special skills, but only a few things that you are really, really good at. Don't put like a slew of stuff. If they really want to know if you can do something, they will ask. And if they really want you for the job and you don't know how to do it, they'll teach you. So if you're under 18, at the top of your resume, you do also have to put your date of birth, because you are younger and your looks tend to change over the years. So they really want to know where you're at. Do not put your age if you're over 18. The way you look is the way you look, and you don't want your age to be out there so that it puts you in a specific box. If you're able to look a little bit older or a little bit younger, that's great. Don't put your birth date on there. Also, I feel like it used to be a thing to put your hair color and your eye color and your height and weight. They can see it in the picture, and nowadays there's so many places for them to go online and see other pictures of you and see video of you online, so don't worry about putting all that information on there. Like I said before, in the beginning, your resume is going to have high school plays, and like even mine has middle school plays on there. As you spend some time here and you add more credits, you take those away and you add more like real current credits. And eventually your resume will fill out to a point where you can ditch all that old stuff. Even if you had like a tiny co-star role, the more recurring roles and guest stars and regular roles that you get, you will be able to let those smaller ones just drop off. Your resume always has to fit on an 8x10 piece of paper that you can staple onto the back of your headshot. So that means that you're gonna have to let some old ones drop off so that you let your better new credits be like the only thing that's on your resume. Okay, so just a few other tips for your resume. Fonts, keep it simple. I'm talking like Times New Roman or something very basic like that. It's not cute to have like playful fonts on your resume. It just looks super amateur. Keep it clean, keep it simple, keep it easy to read, keep your tabs and margins properly aligned, and make sure that everything is just lined up nicely. Make sure that after you put your resume together and edit it in Pages or Word or whatever you're using, you'll convert it to a PDF. PDF. You cannot send your resume out to people in Pages or Word, because then they can edit it, first of all, and it just doesn't look good. It needs to be in PDF. Okay? And I know it's tempting, but don't lie on your resume. Don't make up credits. Let me tell you a story. It's like so humiliating and super uncomfortable. I was with an agent once who decided to beef up my resume and add a couple shows on there and not tell me about it. I don't know if they did it or their assistant did it, but they changed my resume, and maybe it's partially my fault that I didn't proofread it when they sent it to me, but I took that resume and stapled it to my headshot and handed it to a casting director at an audition, and right before my audition, they're like looking at my resume and they're like, wow, they really love you at HBO. And I'm like, Like I in my head, I'm like, well, I've only done one HBO show, but okay. And they're like, yeah, you did Entourage, which I did. And then they're like, oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then they named another HBO show. And I'm like, nodding like this and thinking like, please don't ask me any questions about that, because I had no idea that was added to my resume. I didn't do those shows. Like, anyway, don't lie on your resume. There are going to be shows and movies that you do, of course, that don't make it onto IMDb because they're just like an independent film or a student film. That's fine. You can still put those on your resume, but most stuff can be just looked up right then on IMDb. And if it doesn't match at all. Don't put names of big TV shows on your resume if you didn't do them or if you did background work on them, because the person is going to be able to look it up very easily, and then you're not credited and then you look bad. And my last tip for filling out your resume, and there's obviously going to be a whole separate video on this because it is so insanely important. There's 1,000 trillion benefits to making your own projects. Make your own projects. I don't care if it's like a group of 3 of you who shoot a little short film with your iPhone over the weekend and you edit it together and you make it into a little movie. That's a project. And you know what? That can go on your resume. That's something that you've done. So if you're looking for ways to gain experience and, stretch yourself and fill out your resume, make your own projects. And that is it for today, you guys. I'm so happy that you tuned in to learn about resumes because they are very important. I hope it was helpful to you. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other valuable information. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.